Hey guys, Luke here, Tranquility Base Detailing. Today's a good day. I've got my car back, so all is well with the world. Thought, hey, let's make another wax review. This one actually got filmed the other day. This is for Waxplanet's Bioshock. It's their anniversary offering. If you've not seen the unboxing video already, this turned up with an Alien 51 from OCD Waxes. Originally planning to put them together in a head-to-head, but I've decided against that, so this is a standalone review. I've tried to format these a little bit differently from previous reviews. I've put some headings in, more than anything, just to stop me rabbiting and remember what I'm actually supposed to be talking about at any one point. If you like this, if you think this approach is suiting what we're trying to do, let me know in the comments below. If you don't, let me know that as well. I'll always listen to the audience. If you want me to go back to my usual rabbiting on, hey, that's what I do best. So if you like that, let me know and I'll go back to doing that. So section 1, loading and application. It's a relatively soft wax that is really easy to pick up on the applicator. As you saw there, because this thing is violently yellowish green, you can see what's on your applicator really easy. So that's a nice plus point for something that's been designed to be so bright. As far as applying it, as you guys know, I always try to use a dry and a damp applicator. This one, if you had a dry applicator and used nothing but that, you'd be happy with it. It applied really nicely. That being said, the second half of the boot here was with a damp applicator, just as per our normal testing, and it went on an absolute dream. It was much quicker, so if time's against you, go for a damp applicator. You can really smear this thing on thin and fast, but like most of us, if you just want this to be the therapeutic experience that waxing is, then, you know, go with a dry one. It applies nicely, it's not a chore, you just take a little bit more time doing it. Applied to the rest of the side of the car as well. So like I said, this was filmed on the same day that I've done the Alien 51 wax, so that obviously was applied to the opposite side of the car. If you've seen that review already, you'll have seen that. And as I said in that review, all previous waxes were removed, so this being my dad's car, it is looked after by me, and it's become a bit of a test bed for waxing. So with my car being silver, this being carbon black, it gives me a nice option in terms of applying to either a light or a dark coloured car. So cure time, vaguely speaking, I can tell you it's about 10 minutes. If you want me to, I can go and time how long it took the kettle to boil, and I can take a rough guess at how long it took me to sup some tea. I honestly, because it was cold and I was trying to get these 2 reviews done, I didn't clock the exact time, but I can tell you with this a fair degree of accuracy, it's around about 10 minutes cure time. And that was absolutely plenty. It was around about 6 to 8 degrees out on this particular day, and we are getting into around about half 2 in the afternoon at this point, so the light's going to start coming in, it's going to start getting a little bit darker. Application on this one was easy, but one of the real standouts when I went home, reflected on this, I thought, what can I say? What are the positives? What are the negatives? One of the main things that I could draw from this was that this, by a mile, has been one of the easiest to remove waxes I've used. And I don't mean that in in a long time or in a while. I mean that like ever. This thing, if you'd have asked the wax to come off, it'd have buffed itself. So it's a real joy to remove. As far as overall finished shots, these are those. Tried to take some still images as best as I try and film them. Can be a little bit difficult just to try and get the clarity, but this is after just 1 coat. I didn't have the time to get the second coat on there, and you guys know I'd normally like to do that, try and get 2 coats of a wax applied wherever possible. Honestly, it was just getting a little bit too cold. You could see that mist was just starting to settle on the roof, so it just wasn't worth reapplying another coat. It's just going to cause work for me. So take from that the quality of finish on this from just a single coat is absolutely fantastic. It was one of those where, as it was sold to us, and you look on Detailing World, things like that, when Tony from Waxplanet was saying, look, I'm going to put these gloss enhancers, things like that, and I'm going to make an absolute steal, he really wasn't lying to us. The finish on this is very deep, very glossy, very reflective. I absolutely love that part of it, where the Alien wax, was a little bit almost wetter, pushing more towards a glossier type of wax in a wetter type of way. It was almost like there was a thicker coat of clear on the paint. It was really nice to look at. The finish, it felt slick as well. So again, another massive plus point for this as a wax. And then on to water behavior. It beaded incredibly well, as you can see here. Lovely round beads, uniform. You know, if I'd have taken a little bit more time, I'm sure I could have got a better shot than that. So again, time being against me. But it did, protection-wise, you could see it was there. You know, the water beaded well, and obviously that's going to translate in terms of protection to your paint work as we get into these winter months, and you know you're going to be, you know, wet weather conditions, salt water, things like that. This is going to do its job in terms of repelling those as best as possible. I saw very recently on Detailing Worlds, one chap was saying he doesn't like seeing that in a review, but I think this is important. I think if you look at a wax in terms of protection it's going to bring, it's very difficult to test that outside of lab conditions, other than to say, you know, if we spray some water on it, you're going to see, is it repelling the water to an extent you can see, because that's obviously going to tell you what it's going to do for you. Other than that, that's the review in the bag. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, come back again. Many thanks. Bye-bye.